The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Mostly Steve, but who's counting, right? Thanks for joining us on 106.9 and 570 WSYR. You can also see us on the iHeart Music app, which has a lot of great stuff. So not only a local business, because, you know, sometimes being in church, you have to have a business or else you can't keep the lights on. But then there's the business of faith and healing and all that. We're going to talk with Lou Giordano right now. He's a pastor at the Life Church. How you doing there?
I'm doing good, Tom.
Good. So what do you say to people like me who say, geez, you know, I've worked all my life in a particular career and I just don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Why are we doing this? And you know, I feel like I'm running but getting nowhere. What do you tell people?
Real quickly, go ahead.
You know what I would tell you, because I just heard you talk about what you do as a DJ. I would say, man, keep doing what you're doing because you're valuable.
Well,
we need you. We need the people who are in the clubs and in the 80s and saw this incredible music come out in the 70s and 80s.
Sure.
And I love the way you said, I'm going to read a crowd. So I think what we need to do with people is bring them value, you know, because I see value in people.
That's
people
funny.
are
Yeah,
valuable. And when you're telling me about reading the crowd, I could just read it in your face. You're caring about the people. You say, okay, what can I play to hit this note?
Yeah.
You know, so I think bringing people value is probably underrated right now.
Right.
Valuing people.
You know, as sometimes people will say, you know, I go to church, but I don't get it. You know, there's all these different faiths, all these different denominations. Which one is right? You know, how do you answer that question to people when they come to you?
You know, that is an interesting question because there's so many Christian denominations, so many Christian churches, especially in the United States and North America. Mm-hmm. And so what I really need to do is, and I'm ecumenical in my approach because I appreciate what the different Christian churches bring. But Christ made some claims. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. So that's a very narrow claim. You have to investigate who Jesus is for yourself. You have to make a decision on who he is for you. And that takes some investigation. Yeah. It takes some work on your part. So I think that's really important. And I told the president of Lemoyne College, Linda Lemura, who it's a Jesuit school here in Syracuse, I said, you know, as long as you have Christmas and Easter, we got everything we need to be in common. So all the Christian churches, you know, Christmas is about, you know, the incarnation, Emmanuel, God with us. It's celebrating the birth of Christ. And then Easter, of course, is the resurrection. Everything else is really, let's have a conversation. But the churches that have Christmas and Easter, and 99.5% of them do, then that's the common ground, and that's where we need to understand.
Very good. I like that thought.
Cool. So you've got Alpha coming up. Tell us about Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha is a great course, and it kind of answers some of these questions that we're talking about because it's a 12-week course. We like to say course, but it's really about a meal and a short video giving some aspect of the Christian faith and then a discussion. And so we run it twice a year in our church, and it's basically for non-believers, people who are confused about their faith, or people who are brand new but really don't understand what's happening. It's a basic course about Christianity. And what I like to say is that it's also for people who are opposed to Christianity. Like I've talked to many people who said, man, Lou, that's not for me. That stuff is just, it doesn't do anything for me. I says, well, come to the Alpha course so that you know more accurately what you're against.
That's good.
Find
That's
out,
good.
because if you don't understand what Christianity is, the basic tenets of it, and you're opposed to it, or you're angry at it, or it's hurt you, or you've seen the fruit of it, you don't like it, it's something that's not for you, then really find out what it is you're opposed to. So really the Alpha course is for people to just figure out, what is Christianity about?
And is it a lot of fire and brimstone, or is it just a, educational?
Fire and brimstone is not what we're about. It's about educational things, but it's also. I'll tell you a story. I had a guy, Abraham, who was a backslidden Muslim, Islamic. He grew up in the Islam religion, and I befriended him. We became close friends, and he took this course. This is about 10 years ago. And we had a meal. We showed a video of an aspect of Christian faith. We had discussion. At the end of the 12 weeks, you know what he told me? He goes, I'm not going to be a Christian, he says, but I think I'm going back to the Muslim faith. I think this has stirred something in me.
Interesting.
So I thought that was cool. I mean, not that that's my goal. I don't have a goal except I'm supposed to be someone who presents Christ in a way that you can explore who he is. He was a historical figure, but Christianity obviously believes he was more than just a historical figure.
Right.
So Alpha is really about an exploration of spirituality that centers on the Christian faith and the person of Jesus. So that's kind of what we do for 12 weeks. We discuss this stuff, and he was talking about his faith, and then he actually recommitted himself to his Islamic faith.
That's interesting.
It's interesting.
Where is your building? Where's your actual location?
It's in East Syracuse on Collimer Road, which is off exit 7 on 481.
Yeah. But it's a meal, and I'm imagining people get to know each other and have relationships, which is never a bad thing.
Exactly.
As opposed to passing by someone on social media. So they can register, get information at lifechurchcny.com, right?
That's right. That's our website, and we have an Alpha link there.
Okay. And the website's excellent. I love your website,
Thank
by
you.
the way. Yeah.
Great. So
that.
lifechurchcny.com and engage in a conversation and a meal with Alpha. Thanks for joining us, Lou.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.